Hello, it's me. Happy Feral Monday. Are we excited? I'm excited. I can finally tell you, remember when I was in New York last week and I put on that, I retouched up my makeup and then I was putting something on top of the makeup and it was mattifying? I can finally tell you what it is. It just dropped today. So are you excited? I'm excited, okay? We know it. We love it. The Typology Green Corrector. This is it. I know it's backwards, but it's the Typology Mattifying Stick and it is right alongside. So I will say, I enjoy a lot of Typology products. I do. But the two that are with me are these. Now this is wild. I have never felt something, look at this difference. I've never felt something mattifying that just doesn't feel heavy or like silicone or just, you know that feeling. I don't want to get too negative. I just want to build this up. We don't have to badmouth anything else. But for me, this has been an absolute game changer. And the way that I was applying it, you can put it underneath, but I actually like to put it on top. So I'm going to do a Feral Monday just like we always do. The only part that's an ad is this. But I really think that y'all are going to absolutely love this. Now, before we move on, if you wanted to pick this up, when you spend $40 or more, you get the Hydrating Milk Cleanser. So that is going to be the link. It's only for the duration of the story. And these two, if you wanted to add these to your cart, which I'm going to use this in a little while as we get further on into the tutorial, but I just wanted to put that link right here for now. So what are we going to do today? I feel like I haven't sat down and painted. Actually, that's not true. I painted on Saturday. I literally sat down when I was in Austin and I sat down and I said, you know, I'm just going to do a quick look. 30 minutes later, it actually took me a little less than 30 minutes to do that. 30 minutes later and I had a double wing cut crease. It just sneaks up on me. But I feel like there was a palette that I wanted to use. Ooh, I know what we'll use. Yes, I want to use the blue and the purple together. I'm doing it. It's happening. It's happening. There's the brilliant blue, and then that was the green, which we'll do a green with this week too. I want to use all the colorful ones. New neutral. That's for a Tuesday. The Composed Kohl was really fun. I like that one a lot. That's okay, ready? We're gonna use this. Oh, I like all the different tones in here. Ooh, I even love, oof, that is a gorgeous dusty purple. That's so pretty. And then let's do this. So I want everything to really pop. So we're gonna use a white eyeshadow base. Whenever you want the truest color, an intense color, especially when you're using ones like this and this, white base. Don't throw it though. Don't do that. I'm just excited to be home. Y'all, I have nothing else planned. I have no more traveling, which it can sometimes change for me, but no more traveling. I am home. I'm not going anywhere. Like I said, it can change. It's subject to change. But I really don't want it to. I just want to be home and I want to sit in my room and I want to paint. It's kind of, and whenever you're wanting to get creative, don't be afraid to take your base. I'll see how far over I have it. And I'm going to take it really far out over here. The only thing I am focusing on is just getting it really even and smooth across the lid space. And a dense brush like this with these short bristles. And it helps to have that angle. It does. The human face just has so many angles, like so. So when you have a brush that has these types of angles, it just really hugs everything really nicely and gets everything nice and smooth. I'm ready. So if you've ever noticed, I never ever set my base. I set as I go. And the reason why is because I found a long time ago, and this isn't for everyone, I don't want you to feel like there's only one way to do makeup, but we can each have a unique perspective and style. And my unique perspective and style was always, I liked setting as I went, because when you're applying on top of a dry base, if I was to set this with white eyeshadow, I am not going to get the intensity and even the control. I'm not even going to get control out of these types of pigments. Well, even shimmers, they're not going to show up as intense. They like that little bit of tacky base underneath them. So that's one of the reasons I have never set. I remember I used to, and then I would have patchy shadow and I was not enjoying myself. So for the style that I have, for how long the brushes are, I just love grabbing a shadow. I think we'll just start here, right? Why not? And then I'm just going to, where should we place this? Let's start here. It just picks up the pigment so nicely. Look at how even that already is. And I have more control. And honestly, I can even fix things when we're more in this tacky state than if I was to set it all at once. So that's one of the reasons I like to just go right in on a wet base. And I know most of us aren't going to be doing Feral Monday looks, but I find that this is even a better technique when I'm doing my most, what's a good word for that? Just my everyday looks. Cool, that looks fun. Wow, that pigment is smooth. That's nice. I am not upset with that. I'm gonna get just a hair more even. Tap, tap, tap. Just always pack it in there. Always tapping at this stage. And I don't know why I'm perfecting it so much. I'm just gonna do that. Let's see what happens. If you hear people talking, they're talking about how cute Gene Bean is. And Gene Bean is in his daddy's room. Ben has stolen him from me. He took my cat. But it's actually honestly so sweet. Gene and Ben, it's precious. Now let's go over to the blue. What is this brilliant blue? I don't know what's happening. I don't know where we're ending up. But let me tell you, we're going to have fun on this journey together. I'm just using the E27 because I don't ever know what I'm doing. So if you're not sure where you want to take your eye look, grab your smaller brush. That is some advice that I live by. Cool. I always look at eyeshadow as something you just throw on, just have fun with it. For me, it's basically an abstract painting. That looks nice. Now where are we going? I'm just gonna switch back and forth and just grab. I get asked a lot, especially when I'm traveling and I'm doing interviews and all that jazz. What is my process? Do I plan looks? Do I even plan content? No. No, I don't. I'm winging this. I'm winging every bit of what I do. Okay, this little bit brighter grapey shade. What are we thinking? I don't know. Let's stamp it here. You can see that this one has more pink in it than the other shade, than that one. See, this is why I like to do things in this stage. I just feel like it's so much easier. Remember how I was saying if we were all set, we couldn't take the white base and just kind of manipulate it? I feel like it's just so much easier. Especially even if we're doing our favorite look, our most classic bronzy, just whatever's really your favorite look. And I know you might not want to do this type of placement, but it can still, sometimes colors can get muddy. Sometimes they can go where we don't want them to go. And when we're still in this wet state, it's just so much easier. Switch back over here. I feel like this color is absolutely speaking to me. I'm wiping my brush off. I always like to wipe off a little bit on Sheila. I just know the pigments here are going to be incredible. This type of color, okay? This is a very finicky color. It is. We talk about pigments, some being softer than others. So I'm being a little bit more tricky. These types of purples and blues are always a little bit tricky to work with because they're really, really pigmented, but they can go patchy really, really quickly because they're very easy to overblend. I'm talking any brand. And let's just place that there. Cool. Back, 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 back. I'm probably gonna put black in the center of that. Oh, sorry, I'm out of frame. Just for a smoky smudge. Oh no, the navy. I was saying the navy, but I ran out of room there. So let's just place that. Relax. I feel like that's also something I even forget to do, is relax my eyes. That way we can just stamp over the eye instead of having to really even it out. Because if I'm doing that, once I relax, it's not even going to be in the same spot. So no matter what eye look you want to do, it is important to remember to keep the eyes nice and relaxed. Ooh, this is fun. All right, let's go back to the purple. Wiping that off. I might start switching to a larger brush in just a second. Let's go. Where are we going? Did we use this one? I don't think we used this one yet. Did we? I don't know. I think we're gonna do that one here. Now I'm going to switch to an E28, but I'm going to use the side of the E28. And remember this shade? I thought we would just pick that up and just, so we're covering more area. And I know a lot of the times when we think blending, we think we need a really big fluffy brush, but using the side of a brush that's a little bit more flat, like the E28, just kind of gives this cool wash and blend all at once without ever really disturbing anything around it. And then let's try this really bright shade. Oof, that's gorgeous. I feel like this color just on your lid would be so pretty with your kind of classic brown. I see a lot of really easy looks in here to do. Now, you know I'm gonna take the wild feral route, but I see a lot of options and I will do those looks as well. I'm taking that same color in the E28 and I thought it would be fun. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. Taking the brighter one. There we go. And I'm just gonna even take that on top of that and just kind of melt it in. These are so smooth. I'm so impressed with the texture of these shadows. I just think they're so smooth and really easy to work with. All right, now what? Okay, let's see what happens here. I was waiting for my other phone to turn on. I have like a really old phone that I just have to play Pandora on when I do my makeup. So, ooh, this color is so fun. I want to do a smoky eye with this color. I have so many ideas. I don't know what this idea is going on right now, but you best believe we're having a good time. That'll just go right under here. I feel like these types of looks are really good to kind of visually have that moment where you're like, oh. So sometimes even me coming from underneath here and that transition already being there, that might have helped you see a really smooth, even transition in what you like to do. Sometimes when we see the same technique over and over and over again, we don't really see anything that inspires us or even helps. So that's why I just like to do these wild looks and just approach things very, very differently, because I remember I would do things sometimes backwards and then something would click for me. So that's something that really helped better my makeup journey. I'm just going to clean up in here a little bit more. I'm just using the white base. And I'm going to put shimmer there, some kind of shimmer there in a minute. But I want to connect it with the shimmer. I don't know. Good Lord, the house falling down. Now let's grab this kind of purpley pink. This is more of a, ooh, is this a sequin? Okay, yes, this is a sequin. What is a sequin, my friends? A sequin is a matte that just has big chunks of sparkles in it. It's good. I'm excited. Oh, I like this one. Oh, I've missed this. Just gonna transition that. Picking up quite a bit of the color too. I'm turning this down. This one's a little bit louder than the piano. But I'm picking up quite a bit of that. You little gremlin, you chose to come in here with me, Douglas. How cute was he? Yeah, you can let him out for me. Then I'm gonna take some more of the white base because I wanna add some more of this really cool blue. Stop there. I can tell I really missed makeup while I was gone. We are painting today. I have a new foundation we're gonna try too. This is the color I was talking about. Look at that. What is this one? This one's more of a, that's more of a shimmer. A satin. We'll call it a satin. We'll call it a shimmering satin. This one's gonna have a little bit more pearl in it, which lends itself towards the satin. And this is actually one of my favorite things to do because instead of applying it all the way there, I'm still looking for more places to place shadow. So I'm just gonna place it on my natural lid. And for the longest time, even when I was trying to do cut crease, I couldn't figure out what is a natural lid. It's literally, you see where my eye has that crease right there? That's my I'm going a hair above it, but not too much. So that could be helpful. That's a gorgeous color. And I did make sure to smooth out that base before I laid this down. Now, I'm gonna take whatever's left on the C31 and I'm just gonna start to smooth this out. And that is why I like angles. I just turned it around and now I have that extra angle. And I think we're gonna start to do some shimmers in here. This is so good. This is just a true shimmer. It's really intense. It's gonna have less of a base, which is exactly what I want because I don't want to use something that's going to completely cover up all of this really, I'm stabbing myself, but all of this really fun situation. So I'm gonna take that and I'm just gonna start to press it in between here. You see how we're getting color and we're gonna get shimmer once I layer it on, but it's not completely covering the fun lines and all that graphic goodness. Gorgeous. And I'm only applying it right there. I'm going to smooth out more of that, but I did want this shade on the outer part. I'm using the E28 because it's just going to place it and do a really, really smooth, just light blend. I'm going to grab this from the blue and I'm just going to keep switching back and forth if I see one that catches my eye. Oop, I grabbed a little bit of the wrong shade. There we go. Just in between there. Just gonna kind of highlight it. Wow, that's gorgeous to me. I'm gonna grab some of this shade now. And I'm using the E28 just so I can cover more space. And I just kind of keep tapping back and forth, making friends. I want to brighten up the center. I don't know. I just don't even think we can, I don't. But I'd take this away from me. I will say there are specific colors and palettes that speak to me, and in this entire palette, this one just speaks to me. I don't know what that means, but I love it. And it really, it's kind of like when you were a little kid and someone asked you your favorite color. That's gonna be my favorite. And as a final step, what I like to do is I do like to take a fluffy brush, but I only hesitate because I hate hyping up the brushes, but I'm proud of them. These are really, really soft, delightful fibers. That being said, I like to take, I'm gonna take this color. I'm gonna do a nice little tap. I'm picking up a whisper. I'm actually just gonna make sure it's even on the brush. That's better. Always make sure it's just even as much as you can on this top part. This is the E29. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to tap over this top part and just make sure everything basically has a veil over it. And that's a really good way to think about your favorite transition color, whatever that is. For me, it would have been Mac Saddle. Ugh. I like to go back in and just layer a whisper of that melting transition with the fluff. I was saying lay down that transition with the fluffy brush. It really just makes a difference and kind of melts everything in. Sometimes I'll do it with my powder foundation to add my undertone and skin tone, but this isn't that kind of look. I will melt here. We're gonna do cleanup. It's gonna be so much fun. But I love the idea of that. But you wanna use a fluffier brush because it's the lightest veil. And I still don't recommend all the buffing and the back and forth. I recommend pick up the product, wispity wisp, and build it on top and tap, 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 tap. It's enough to deposit and melt. Should we take this light through here? We should. We did. I'm glad we did. Wait till you see this with that camera. Okay, now let's clean it up. For the big stuff, I take Sheila and some micellar water and I just kind of tap. I always try to be a little bit not so aggressive with my skin. I'll even kind of loosen that up a little bit. And I just keep tapping back and forth. I've lost my micellar water. There it is. There we go. Then I take my micellar water, fluffy brush. I have it pretty wet. See how the bristles are kind of, they look wet? I need that much though to melt. Look at what a difference that just made. Isn't that fun? And when we thin it out like that, it's not really removing a whole lot, and foundation's gonna cover up that much of it, so don't really worry about that. The only thing I'm thinking about is, once I get I wanna do a black waterline, so I'm gonna connect this, so I'm not gonna worry too much about the white, so I'm not gonna go under here and just sharpen it, because I want it a little bit smokier. So I'm just gonna tap back and forth. And you best believe Sheila is always standing by. Wow, that looks so cool already. So I always like to think that, I know I have a lot of people that just do their makeup for fun every day. They have their classic look. And then I have artists that do follow me. And I like to speak to everyone, but I find that if you've ever noticed, I do so many different looks. I try to. There's still others that I can do, and I still partake in Halloween looks. I don't do special effects makeup, but I definitely don't just do the kind of the same classic look every single day. And even if you're taking clients at the moment, I really recommend experimenting on yourself, even with looks like this. Maybe they'll never even see the light of day, but there is so many learnings. You learn texture, you learn formula, you learn dry times when you do looks like this, when you do heavy underpainting, when you just completely get out of your comfort zone. Even doing something that a client might never ask for. I'm not sure that this has ever been requested by anybody that I ever did makeup on. But what this did is it really helped me understand so many different textures and formulas and dry times and shape and eye shape and my own eye shape. So I really feel that these types of look, while they feel so wasteful, they feel like something we would never ever do. I learned so much by doing these types of looks, doing extreme foundation looks, doing extreme highlighting and contouring. This level of extreme has taught me and helped me understand products and techniques more than really anything. October. This comes back in October. This is out right now, and as you can see, I dislike it because I never use it. I can't stop using this. I'm reaching for this more than my other pot gels, and I think that y'all are absolutely gonna love it. But what I'm gonna do is, see how I'm lifting up my lashes? I'm gonna get in here real tight, give it a little tight line. That's going on my lashes. Kind of, ooh, see that difference? It's going in between my lashes, and then before it sets, I'm just gonna smudge it a little bit. So easy to work with, and it's finally, I feel like the pots, I love pot gel liner, but we finally got a formula that once this sets, it doesn't move, and I feel like it's just so much easier to throw this on my lash line, right? Just give it a little, and then before it sets, I'm just going to smudge, and it just smudges and controls so easily. I've had my lashes warming up. My Lily lashes. This is, let me double check. I want to say it's Go Getter. Yep. Just always want to make sure. I love these. And I did wait till my mascara completely dried. I know I mentioned that a lot, that it's just so important because I've worn these like, I don't know. I had these in New York with me too. 10 or 11 times. Ooh, get that on there. And then I always pull the front up. Let it touch my skin a little bit more. Even see how funky it is. It doesn't look right. But then it's just so easy to get it right there on the lash line. Dougie is snoring. Nice. Okay, back to this. I'm gonna go ahead and just put this on. And like I said, I put it underneath my foundation. I don't want to squill. I didn't do this side. But I also like to put it on top of my foundation. Oh, I still had a little bit of fallout there. That's okay. And don't worry about, I have it kind of labeled here, but I know sometimes we're worried about the bacteria buildup, but no fear. It's so blurring. I wish you could feel it. When if you happen to add it to your collection, the way that it feels is like nothing else I have that's mattifying. I know that sometimes when we put on mattifying things, it just kind of just, you get what I'm saying. This does not do that, but it does the job. I got something new we're trying. Shades by Shan foundation. This packaging already is so heavy and glass and beautiful. I'm gonna be using the shade 11N. It's gonna even that out on my hand. So this one is a neutral. 20C was a little bit too dark for me, but I think we're gonna be able to make this one work. It's gonna be a little too light. And it's also gonna pull a little yellowy green because of the blue. This is the hazards of doing the fun eyeshadows. But don't worry, it's gonna look good in a second. Wow, what a gorgeous formula. Unscented. And I promise we'll use it again when I'm not wearing the blue and the purple, which purple is also gonna pull yellow. So basically the eyeshadow look that we have on is Sabotage for our foundation shade today, so we're gonna have to fix it. Oh, there we go. As it dries down, it's absolutely gorgeous. It says, I'm reading the back of the bottle, made in Korea, Velvet Luminous. And I like that because it's kind of gonna give us a blur, but it's not gonna be flat. Don't think completely matte. Oh, I can't wait for you to see this foundation with back camera. And then it is a Longwear foundation. I forget the claims. Shan told me the Longwear claims, but I can't remember. I think it was 16 hour, but I don't want to quote that. Don't be quoting it. I love that we're seeing why a lot of the times we don't like to do fun, sassy looks, because look at how the shade looks compared to here. And I feel like this foundation has more coverage than what I normally reach for, but it's still not going over into complete, intense, full coverage matte. It's really pretty, especially once I get it blended out. It's matching a lot better now. And why is it matching? What's going on? There's a little bit of dry down because there is Longwear. I talk about that a lot. Sometimes when we go to pick a Longwear, if it has Longwear in the name at all, just know that the very first initial application is not going to be the true color. Another thing that's happening here and why it's starting to look better is because I didn't do a complete full coverage application. So my undertone is able to kind of peek through. That's why when we are going to pick out our most full coverage foundation, and that's not what this is. This is not the most intense full coverage. That's why it's able to shift and work. But when we're picking that out, it needs to match some part on our body. And the part that I always recommend, I have a video on places to match. But if we're going to go wildly full coverage, I recommend just think of this as a circle, and I want to match that unless you have redness on your chest like I do. And then I would want you to match right here. Wherever you have the most amount of even skin, which for me is all underneath here, as opposed to my face and forehead, that is where I'd want to match a full coverage foundation. Now, I ordered the concealer. Shan gifted me, I actually ordered the foundation too. I think I ordered different shades, but I saw her last night and she gave me these. So we'll see what I ordered. I don't remember what I ordered. I just ordered a lot. So I'm just gonna do concealer underneath my eyes, my Natasha Denona, R5. And we're getting so close to our C32 being back in stock that I just use this now and I'm happy again and not sad while I use it. Melty, melty, melty. Oof, this looks so good. I hope that foundation tip helped you though. Well, the two I gave. Really helped me pick out my shade and understand my foundation shade a lot more when I learned that. Remember the gel pencil? Warm it up a little bit, and then I'm just gonna glide. See how easy it is to glide across? That's really important because the less we go back and forth, the better this stuff wears. Back and forth, just kind of wiggles it into the lashes. It can warm up later and start to transfer. Also, the more we have to go back and forth, it mixes in with the tears and changes the formula. So I used this blush the other day, and I don't feel like the formula is revolutionary. I don't feel like it's something we need to hoot and holler about or that it's a game changer. I do think that this particular lavender shade is really, really pretty because when you set it, the blue and the intensity and the sparkle come out, and I think that's really, really cool. So it's kind of not a naturally quick throw on blush. It's actually a little bit more artistic and wild. So that is something to keep in mind. Also, what we can keep in mind is make sure we have a C41 on hand. There we go. You'll see the sparkle when I set it. It smells so much like root beer. You have to really like that scent. It is intense. I like it, but I know some of us are sensitive to smells, and that's why also I wanted to mention that this doesn't have a smell. It's Fair on Monday, right? Let's brighten with purple highlighter. So purple is going to cancel yellow and really, really brighten. I don't know if this Givenchy one is still around because this was limited edition. I want to say, I could be wrong. I should check the site before I start just yapping about what's going on. But essentially, this purple has a white base. That's going to lighten, but it also has the purple in there. And that purple is going to cancel any kind of yellow and just intensely brighten. Oh, I love this song. Look at that beautiful blend now. It's also going to blend into the lavender blush really nicely. That's fun. Now let's take this pencil again, and I'm going out of the lash line. Just kind of angling. Pew. just downward a little. And then I'm gonna smudge it. Look how this smudges. Oh, I just love it so much. And I like to do this before I set my under eye, because, oh yeah, that's what I wanted. We can set it. So if things tend to smudge on you, and I can clean up and tidy. But doing this before powder, you can kind of get in there and set it. Okay, nothing on the brush, and at this stage, I can just kind of manipulate it a little bit. I don't know what that was, but now it's gone. What is that? I don't know. Now it's gone. And then I'm just gonna clean up in there. And then we'll set. Got my Givenchy powder. My Rose and Ben Beauty Puff. Swirl these together. Making sure it was even. Want it even from there to there. And then we're just gonna go in and set. And what I like to do is I look up just a little bit and I'm just gonna skim the edges of the liner. And it really does help with transfer later. I also feel that wearing this underneath is just even an extra step of blur. All right, I haven't even used these House Lab sticks. So I want to do a nice little contour here. I'm going to pick it up with the C40.5. I feel like this is going to be a match made in makeup heaven. That is a true shadow on me. I don't know if you know this, but I have been one of the advocates for brands bringing back true contours. I don't even know how long I've been making videos and kind of explaining contour versus bronzer. I could have actually used a little less. I'm gonna wipe off what's on my brush to blend. But it's just so incredible for brands to finally bring back this part of artistry and have it done just right. This texture is perfect. That is just a true shadow. Now that would only go where I have a natural shadow. I would not put that true contour here. We could absolutely take some of this and put it right there and then bring it down, because see how the light's hitting me? There's a natural shadow there. But I don't want it to go too far up because then it could look like a beard on me. And if you feel like it's gone too far up, what I'll do is just take this edge. Woo, perfect. And I'm even gonna go underneath here a little. And I'm gonna add a whisper of bronzer, because this is what I like to do. I thought, wait, I've missed it. I've missed sitting in my room. I've missed painting. So I like to do the contour first, especially when I'm doing a more intense chisel. Now, if I'm doing a light contour, I'm not going to worry too much about that. But now I'm gonna grab, I wasn't ready. I got too excited. I'm gonna grab this Natasha Denona bronzer. I put the contour on my hand. Bronzer. So now I'm gonna pick that up. Just wanted to show you the difference. And then I'm gonna make sure it's nice and even on the brush. Same C40.5, perfect. And that is gonna go right above the contour, and it just helps give something for it to transition into. And when I'm doing this, I try not to go too wildly warm. Perfect. Ooh. So good. Then I'm taking Sheila, wiping it off, and then remember how I said contour wouldn't go here? That's where I would definitely put bronzer. The sun's gonna hit there, and that is mimicking the sun. And then I actually will take a little bit, I'm talking a wisp of the contour. I'm pretty careful because my nose shape doesn't really lend itself to really perfect precision contouring. But I also find that a nose contour, and this is so personal, I don't ever want you, if you're nose contouring and you feel confident, please continue. But I feel on myself and on some nose shapes, a nose contour is so easily detected in natural lighting. So I like to just use a little whisper of contour, and I'm using the actual contour, not the bronzer. There's a little bit of bronzer on here, so it's kind of acting as a little, I don't know, sassy transition, if you will. And then I'll put a little across there to shorten it. And I thought we'd watch this side. This is the contour, so see how I have it? That is the perfect contour for me. I was saying I'm going to put it a little across here. It's just going to make it not look quite as long. I have a longer nose. I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it. Ain't nobody gonna hush up Nat King Cole in this house. And another reason I don't really talk about reshaping the face a lot is because I feel that that can be, how do I say this? I'm just very mindful. I don't want you to ever think that you need to reshape anything on your face. Just paint it. Have fun with color. If you want to reshape it, just have fun with different placements. There's all types of places that we can place things, but I just don't want you to feel like there's only one way to do something. Have fun, experiment. Now I'm gonna listen to this song. So I definitely want to do a dark powder with this, but I'm gonna take a little bit more of my 𝗕𝗘𝗧𝗬𝗓, pick it up on the C40.5. It's gonna be a lot more brightening, and then I take this side and go right underneath it and just kind of chisel that out a little bit more. I love this brush. I just feel that it really complements the current formulas that are out right now. And I'm really proud of the C40.5. I love having that perspective because I have the privilege of being able to try so many different formulas and understanding what's new, what's current, what we're actually reaching for. So it really gives me a fun perspective on, I'm gonna say unique perspective on designing brushes. So I'm proud of it. So for underneath here, I'm going to take a little bit of this shade in the fluffy brush. I'm just going to smudge some right there. This is so pretty. And then I'm going to grab the blue palette. I need to do my nails. I have so much to do. I'm really playing makeup. And then I'm gonna grab this color and that's gonna go over here. Is this a new shade from Anastasia? I feel like it is. It's really pretty pigmented. I'm gonna grab a lip liner. This is the shade Berry Mocha, and that describes it perfectly. Let's see what kind of lip liner we got over here. And then there's a really nice dark lip liner. This is the shade Amethyst, also from Anastasia. And then I'm just gonna perfect and blend. This is really cool. All right, we got our C30. And I'm gonna clean up my lip line. I love a clean lip line, but listen, this is what I've been doing so I don't get dull around my mouth area, is if you have a color corrector that's peach, clean up with that instead. It keeps depth and doesn't go too light around your lip line. But it also cleans up really, really nicely. And if you really want to not use a wet corrector, try an eyeshadow. Similar to your skin tone, maybe a little bit more in the correcting tone. By the way, these palettes are delightful. I was able to use, obviously you've seen the Kohl one, I've used the purple, the blue, and then I used the neutral one. Which one did I use? I forgot which the other one I used. I wasn't prepared. But I honestly haven't had one issue with any of them. I just think they're delightful. I think the formulas are delightful. The new neutral is the one I was looking for. Yes, we're gonna do a look with this, but you had to sit through this first. If you're thinking about getting one, I highly recommend. Love. 1,000 out of 10 on those. Let's see what else. The foundation just looks so good. I feel like it looks so skin-like, but so blurred. Gorgeous. And then the lipstick's just a classic lipstick, but it does feel very, very comfortable. I think that's everything. Oh, the blush. I just like that color and thought it'd be really nice. I get kind of mindful. I get extra mindful when it comes to those Dior blushes because if you want to collect them, they are very, very lovely, but I don't want you to feel like you're missing out on it. I really just use it today because it has a lavender tie-in. All right, my friends, I love you so much. I'm so happy to be home. And I think that is going to be everything for today. I might go film a fun little video where I put something blue and sparkly on my lips. I'm really just in my room having a great time. I love the opportunities that I'm given because of what I do, but my favorite thing in the entire world to this day is to sit in my room and put makeup on and then chat with y'all while I'm doing it in my DMs. It is truly something that I look forward to. I'm definitely gonna post tonight. It's gonna be an ad for the stick. You're gonna see it in action, see it on top. But that's the thing with my ads. I've had this for probably a month secretly, and I make sure that I like everything and that it works in different climates. I try to think about that and who it works for and the best ways to use it. So I don't do the first impression ads, so I'm excited to post this ad. I love you so much. I love you with all of my heart, and hopefully I'll see you in my comments later tonight. Bye for now.